Hey guys, how are you? Wanted to make this quick video about how to sell insurance and the strategy that I use that I've found most effective for my agency and my success here in the last couple years. Agents will argue this across the board. Everybody has their own strategies, but I wanted to give you guys some value about what I do and what has worked for me. So first and foremost, my belief, you have to have as many people's attention as possible. If people don't know who you are, they'll never be able to buy from you. So there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can go on social media, go heavy on that. You could door knock, cold call, go networking groups. You can get referral partners. There's a lot of different things. I like to use a little bit of all of those. And there's other ways to do it too. But first and foremost, get people's attention. People need to know who you are, and use whatever strategy you want. Another thing that I think is super important about being able to actually close deals and sell policies is you need to have the best options available on the market. If you're going to be limited to one or two products, it's going to make it tough. So you want to have that flexibility, different options. As an independent agent or independent broker, you will have those if you go with the right, sources. Another huge part of that is selling yourself on your product. Believe that you have the best option and that policy is what's best for them. And, for me, I can genuinely say, and I'm not just saying this, I genuinely believe that I have some of the best options in the insurance market available to my customers. And when you have that belief, it just changes your tone, it changes your strategy, it changes the way you go about it slightly, and people sense that. So when you're on the phone with somebody and you're telling them like, look, you can go with whatever you want. I'm telling you, this is what I think is the best option for you. People can sense that authenticity, and typically they'll listen to you and move forward. So that's a big one. Third thing, I think you need to be able to ask questions. Don't just come in with your policy or your product that you're selling. And this is across the board for any sales job out there. You don't want to just come in to present your product or make your proposal and say, look how great it is. It has this. You want to ask them, for example, if it's a business policy and they do a lot of transactions, they collect credit card information, this. You don't want to just go in there and say, hey, look, we have this cyber liability just in case you get hacked, all your credit card information. You want them to answer the question themselves. Be like, do you need coverage? Do you guys collect a lot of personal data? Do you guys have a lot of, is there any potential that something could happen if you guys get hacked? And then they say, yeah, if that does happen, that would be really bad. That's great because this quote here, it has a cyber protection policy for $1 million. If that were to come up and that were ever an issue, you guys would be fully protected. And just bring the value out in the policy by asking questions. It's very, very important. Gather the intel and then advise them in the direction that you think is best for them. We're here to be insurance advisors, not necessarily always salesmen. Obviously, we need to close deals to eat, but do what you can to advise people the right way. Another big little, this is a small but big thing as well, subtle thing. You basically lay out your proposals in threes. So this is the fourth suggestion. I would say lay out your proposals in threes. If you've noticed, a lot of big, companies out there will run commercials and run, product lines in threes. They'll basically say this is the enhanced package, the standard, and the basic. The human brain is, for whatever reason, likes to see stuff in threes and have options. So always lay them out from most expensive to the cheapest. So enhanced package, it has all the bells and whistles, it has a very low deductible, high coverage, great product. Middle one, it's a standard, still has a good policy, it'll cover you properly, it doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it's still good. And then the basic, it's the bare bones, whatever it is. You still need this, but it doesn't necessarily cover you sufficiently. What I've seen is 9 times out of 10 people will go with that middle one. Because they see the high one, they're like, oh, that's way too expensive. They see the middle one, they're like, it's still kind of pricey. And then they see the low one, they're like, I could definitely do that. But they always like to go with the middle one. So give options in threes. That's a big one. From there, what I like to do, step 5, I like to make suggestions and just allow them to make the decision. I think people don't like to be sold and convinced to do something. They like to make decisions for themselves. So at the end of all my proposals, I say overall, I would suggest that, at least go with the middle average policy or go with the $1 million liability policy, because this is what I think looks like would be sufficient to protect you. And it's the best quality product we have. And from there, allow the client to make their final decision. That's pretty much it. There's always going to be times where you need to get a little more aggressive and really kind of push to make those sales. And I'll tell you guys a quick story just to end it here. When there was a few months back, I had a policy that I was working on for months, like 3 or 4 months, that I couldn't close the deal. And finally, I think one day I was talking to someone, they said, the best investment you can make is in yourself. And that's such a cliche thing to say, everybody says it. But that day I remember they also suggested a book that I listened to. And it was called The Closer's Survival Guide by Grant Cardone. It was a great book. And I just said, all right, you know what, I'm going to listen to this guy. He said, invest in yourself. I bought it. It was like $10. I was like, dude, I don't have $10, but I'm going to buy it anyway. I bought it, I listened to it for a couple hours, and I just started writing down notes, and out of nowhere, it just clicked, like, this is how I'm gonna sell this policy. So I stopped the audiobook, I literally picked up the phone, I called this client that I'd been working on for like 3 or 4 months. They were just dragging their feet, they didn't wanna close the deal, and I said, look, we need to get this done today. I hate to keep bothering you about this and going back and forth, but we need to finish this today. They said, let's do it, Chris. We sold the policy, we got it done, and it was the easiest, $10 investment. I made, a lot more than that for sure. So $9, $10 investment in yourself could convert into so much more. So I would suggest read books, constantly learn about sales. I'm not an expert. This is just my opinion. So anybody out there, if you have, I would also suggest taking a look at the book called 10X by Grant Cardone. That is really about the activity levels and 10Xing your activity this way that you're getting so much more done in the same amount of energy and time throughout the day. And that's kind of goes back to the first point, getting attention of people. People need to know who you are, and higher activity levels will definitely allow that to happen. Closer Survival Guide by Grant Cardone and 10X by Grant Cardone. Good books. Hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you guys soon. Let me know if anybody has questions. I'm happy to jump on a call. I've been consulting some people for small fees on getting the agency started, but for sales I'm not going to charge anybody because I'm not a complete expert in that, so I don't think I bring enough value there. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me, give me a call. I'm happy to help out, and good luck, everybody. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks.